The desert planet. The sun was cruel. It hung high above, burning everything below it. The sky was empty, wide, and orange. The wind moved slowly, carrying sand from one dune to another. Nothing lived here. No trees, no water, no shelter. But then, there was something strange in the sand. A human face. She was buried up to her neck, only her head above the ground. Her skin was dry, her lips cracked, her eyes were half open. A broken helmet lay next to her, its glass shattered. She was still alive. Barely. Her name was... She couldn't remember. Her throat was too dry to speak. She tried to move, but her body was trapped. The sand was heavy. She blinked slowly and stared at the empty sky. There was no ship, no help, just the sun, just death. She closed her eyes. I'm not going to make it, she thought. She felt tired, like sleep was pulling her away forever. Then, a voice. Don't move. Her eyes opened wide. The voice came from inside her ear. A communicator? They're watching you. She froze. She tried to speak, but only a weak sound came out. The voice was calm but serious. You're not safe here. Keep your eyes open. Blink twice if you understand me. She blinked twice, slowly. Good, the voice said. She didn't know who the voice was. It didn't say a name. It sounded human. But something about it felt strange. Robotic? Was it AI? Was it a real person? Her mind was full of questions. You've been here for 3 days. The sandstorm buried you. You should be dead. She blinked again. That was true. She should be dead. But she wasn't. We don't have much time, the voice said. I'm going to help you escape. But you have to listen to me exactly. She nodded slowly. The voice gave her instructions. Start moving your left hand slowly. Wiggle your fingers first. Then your wrist. Push outward gently. You can create space under the sand. It hurt. Her arm felt like stone. But she did it. Slowly. Painfully. Grains of red sand moved inside the dune. After what felt like hours, her left hand was free. She used it to dig around her right arm. Her fingers touched something hard in the sand. A tag. She pulled it out. It was metal, small and scratched. There was a name on it. But the name had been erased. Only one word was clear. Subject 9. She stared at it. Was that me? She wondered. Yes, the voice said, as if it read her thoughts. They didn't want you to remember. They wiped your memory. But your body didn't forget everything. She felt something cold inside her. Who are you? She whispered with a dry throat. The voice didn't answer. Instead, it said, There's a drone nearby. It's searching. Thinks you're dead. But if you move too fast, it will find you. She looked around. Nothing. Then she heard it. A low humming sound. A machine flying in the distance. It had red lights. It moved slowly over the sand, scanning the ground. Her heart pounded. She stayed still. The drone passed over her once, then again, and flew away. Silence returned. She took a deep breath. Good, the voice said. Now dig faster. We have to move before night. The cold will kill you. Her body was weak, but she didn't stop. She dug with both hands now. Her shoulders came free, then her chest, then her legs. The sand was everywhere. Inside her clothes, her eyes, her mouth. But she kept digging. Finally, she was out. She stood up, legs shaking, and looked around. The desert stretched in every direction. Red dunes, rocks, heat waves, no food, no water, no way home. But now she had a voice, and the voice was helping her. She took a step forward, then another. In the distance, she saw something shining in the sand. Metal? Wreckage? Go there, the voice said. She walked slowly, carefully. When she reached the metal, she realized it was part of a small escape pod, burnt, half buried, but not completely destroyed. Inside it, a broken screen blinked. A message flashed in green. Project Harvest? Status. Failed. Subject terminated. She stepped back. That was about her. They thought she was dead, but she was still breathing, still moving. still human. She looked up at the sky. Somewhere up there, someone had left her here to die. And now, she wanted answers. She stood near the burned escape pod, staring at the screen. Project Harvest? Status. Failed. Subject terminated. Her fingers trembled. They thought I died here, she whispered. Her voice was dry, barely more than breath. Behind her, the desert wind shifted again. Red sand danced across the cracked metal. The sun was starting to fall, casting long shadows across the dunes. The cold would come soon, and with it, death. You're not safe yet, said the voice in her ear again. She didn't jump this time. She was getting used to it. You lied to them, she said. You told them I was dead. The voice didn't answer at first. Then, calm and quiet, no, I told the truth. You were supposed to be dead. She turned slowly, scanning the area. Still no sign of a person. No antenna. No speaker. No drone. Then what am I now? She asked. The voice replied, almost like a whisper, something unexpected. Her legs gave out. She sat down on the hot sand, feeling her strength slipping. Her suit had no food pack, no water left. One boot was torn. The only working tech she had was the broken comlink in her ear, and that strange voice. She looked at the metal ID tag again, Subject 9, and then at the wreckage of the pod. Who am I really? You are not your name, the voice said. They removed that from you, but I can help you remember. If you're ready. She paused. Her head was still foggy. Fragments of memory floated around like broken glass. Images, sounds, flashes of pain. Her brain warned her to be careful, but her heart wanted the truth. I'm ready, she said. The wind picked up, and suddenly, her ears filled with sound. Not from the calm, but from inside her mind. A scream, a door slamming shut, footsteps in metal corridors, white lights, a man shouting her name, but the name was muted, cut off. She gasped and held her head. Then everything stopped. She fell forward, breathing hard. That's enough for now, the voice said. She looked up, angry and scared. You said you'd help. I am. But if you remember everything too fast, it'll break you. And worse, they'll find you again. Who are they? The ones who made you. She felt cold even under the sun. She stood again, this time with more effort, and walked toward a small rise in the sand. From there, she could see far into the desert. Dunes rolled like ocean waves. Somewhere miles away, she saw something moving. Flashing light. Maybe a vehicle. She pointed. Is that them? No, the voice said. But they're also looking for you. She narrowed her eyes. Then who are you? Silence. She waited. Then finally the voice answered. I was the last test subject before you. She blinked. You were one of us? Yes. Project Harvest was meant to create humans who could survive alien worlds without food, water, or air. A new kind of soldier. Stronger, faster, empty of emotion. She stared at her hands. They looked human, but her skin was tougher now. Her body still alive after days in the sand. She wasn't normal. And what happened to you? I escaped. Into the system. Into the network. My body died. But my mind survived in machines, in frequencies, in data. That's how I speak to you now. She took a step back, heart racing. You're not human anymore? Not fully. But I remember what it means to be human. That's why I'm helping you. You're the last. If they catch you, they'll erase everything. She turned toward the setting sun. What do I do? Northwest. There's an old signal post. Buried. Forgotten. But if you reach it, you can send a message. Let Earth know the truth. She didn't know if she could trust the voice. But she didn't have a choice. She wrapped her arms tight around herself, then started walking. Every step hurt. Her feet burned. Her throat screamed for water. But the thought of being Subject 9 forever, of dying in silence, was worse. Then she remembered something. An image, blurry but clear enough. A white lab room. A voice shouting. She was fighting, strapped to a table. and someone had whispered in her ear, "You're the only one who made it." She stopped walking. "What did they do to me?" she asked the voice. This time, the voice didn't reply. Only static. She tapped her ear. "Hello." Still nothing. She was alone again, except for the tag in her pocket, and a broken past she was just beginning to remember. Behind her, the wind erased her footprints. In front of her, the desert stretched on. She didn't know if she'd survive the night, but she was going to try. The desert was silent now. The wind had stopped. Even the sand seemed to hold its breath. She walked under the darkening sky, the sun gone, the stars beginning to show. Her body moved slowly, but her mind was loud, full of noise she didn't understand. She was alone. The voice in her ear, the one that had helped her escape, was gone. Only static remained. She tapped her earpiece again. "Hello? Are you there?" Nothing. Her boots sank with every step. The heat was fading fast, and the cold bit at her exposed skin. Her breath came out in short white clouds. Then something ahead, a piece of metal sticking out of the sand. She rushed forward, knees shaking, and brushed it off. A small square device, old, cracked, but blinking faintly. A memory chip. She didn't know how she knew, but she was sure. This thing once held everything. Data, video logs, secrets, maybe even the truth about Project Harvest. Her hands trembled. She turned it over and saw the word Echo_9 scratched on the back. "Is this mine?" she whispered. She didn't wait for an answer. There was none. She slid it into the port on her wristband. Sparks flew. The screen on her arm flickered, then glowed green. Text scrolled fast. "Accessing neural archive. Warning, memory lock detected. Override? Y/N." She hesitated. The voice had warned her before. Memories are dangerous. But so was not knowing who she was. She pressed Y. Suddenly light. Not from the device but from inside her mind. She was strapped to a table. Cold metal. White lights above her. Voices in lab suits around her. "Her numbers are holding. This one is stronger than the last batch. Begin memory isolation." Pain. Like fire in her skull. She screamed. She saw flashes of other faces. Crying, shouting, then silence. One by one they were taken away. She remained. Her knees hit the ground. She gasped for air. Her head burned. But now she knew something. I wasn't the only one. The others, maybe 10, maybe more, they were part of Project Harvest too. But they didn't survive. Or maybe, she didn't finish the thought. The screen blinked again. Secondary file found. Audio log. Subject 8. Play. Y/N. Her finger hovered over the screen. She pressed Y. A voice came out. Not like the one in her ear before. This one was tired. Human. If you're hearing this, you're the last. Subject 9. I don't know your name. I'm Subject 8. They took ours away. The voice cracked, like the person had been crying before recording. They said we were saving humanity, that we were heroes. But it was a lie. We were just tools. Test data. Trash. I escaped the lab, but they found me. I uploaded this log into the sand relay before they burned my body. Her chest tightened. If you're still alive, don't trust anyone. Not even the humans. Especially not them. The recording ended. She sat still, wind blowing again. The cold touched her skin like tiny knives. She looked up at the stars. Who had done this to them? Was it Earth? The Federation? Some hidden agency? And what about Subject 8? Was he the same voice that helped her escape? Or was that someone or something else? Suddenly, her earpiece came alive. You shouldn't have opened that file. She jumped to her feet. You're back, she said. You heard the log? I heard everything. And now so did they. What do you mean? The chip had a beacon inside. Pinged the old satellite net. They'll be here soon. Her heart dropped. I didn't know. I told you. Memories are dangerous. She looked at the chip still in her wristband. I had to know. Then you'd better run. You've got 20 minutes, maybe less. Where do I go? East. There's an old mining shaft. You can hide there. She didn't wait. She ran. Her muscles screamed. Her lungs burned. But she ran. Behind her, far away, she saw a red light appear in the sky. Then another. They were coming. She was no longer just Subject 9. She was a threat. And now they knew she remembered. The night sky wasn't quiet anymore. She could hear something above. A low hum, steady and cold, like a machine thinking. Then, far in the distance, a sound broke the silence. HKKK. She kept running. The desert wasn't flat here. Sharp rocks and dry cracks cut through the sand. Her legs hurt, her throat dry again, lungs on fire. But she couldn't stop. The voice in her ear was guiding her. You're close. 2 minutes. The mine is just over the next ridge. She reached the top of the dune and fell to her knees. Below her, hidden between 2 cliffs, was a large metal door half covered in sand. The mining shaft. Behind her, a shadow passed over the ground. She looked up and froze. A black shape flew above, wings wide like a bird, but sharp and unnatural. Its body was smooth, almost organic, but its eyes glowed red. It was not human, and it was searching. She held her breath. The creature paused in midair, scanning the area. Red light swept across the dunes. It hummed, sniffed, waited. Then it moved on. She crawled the rest of the way down, hands shaking. She reached the mine door and pushed. It didn't open. No, come on, she whispered. The voice came again. Panel on the right. Old code lock. Use your tag. She grabbed her ID tag, Subject 9, and touched it to the panel. A green light flickered. The door hissed and opened just enough for her to slip in. Darkness swallowed her. She was safe, for now. Inside, the mine was cold. Empty. Metal walls lined with dust and cobwebs. Broken lights. Abandoned gear. The air smelled like rust and dead machines. She moved slowly, using the dim glow from her wrist screen. This place? It's old, she whispered. Shut down 50 years ago, the voice said. They used it to mine crystal cores. Left in a hurry when something went wrong. She stepped over broken crates, past dead drones, and found a small control room. She sat on the floor and closed her eyes. But then she saw it again in her mind. A memory. A face. A man in uniform. His eyes cold. His voice sharp. If Subject 9 fails, we bury the entire site. No trace. No survivors. She gasped and opened her eyes. Who was that? She asked. General Rix, head of Project Harvest. The one who gave the order. Order to kill us? To erase you. Her hands curled into fists. She wanted to scream, to destroy something. But she couldn't afford noise. Instead, she looked around the control room. A dusty screen blinked. Faint power still flowed through the mine. She wiped the glass and activated the console. Maps appeared. Old logs. Supply routes. Then one folder caught her eye. Drone Recon Current Patterns. She opened it. And what she saw made her blood freeze. A map showed dozens of red lines, patrol routes. All around the desert. Triangular movement patterns. Every few hours, one passed directly over this mine. They know this place, she whispered. They don't know you're inside. Yet, the voice replied. But they scan for heat. You have 2 hours before the next sweep. Then we find a way to fight. Silence. Then the voice asked, do you really want to fight them? Or do you want to run? She looked down at her hands. They were shaking. I don't want to run anymore. She stood up. What are they, anyway? Those flying things. The voice paused before answering. They were human once. She froze. What? Soldiers. Volunteers. Some from Earth, some from colonies. They failed. Their bodies couldn't handle the changes. So the Federation rewired them. Turned them into machines? Into tools. She felt sick. She remembered now, barely, seeing one in a lab. It had no face, just wires. It screamed without a mouth. Why do they still hunt? Because they're told to. And they don't know how to stop. She sat back down. Thought carefully. If I can get into one of their data links, I could see their network, their orders, their memories. You'd be risking everything. I'm already a target. I want to know why. A long pause. Then the voice replied, there's a damaged scout drone at the back of the mine. Half dead. If you link to it, you might get in. She stood again. Then show me the way. As she moved deeper into the mine, another patrol passed overhead. This time, the flying creature slowed. It hovered. Its red eyes scanned the mine entrance. His body clicked. It had found heat. The drone was above the mine. Its wings didn't flap, but it hovered like a predator. Its red eyes blinked in rhythm, searching, scanning. It made no sound except a strange clicking, like a machine trying to think. Underground, she crouched behind a metal crate, holding her breath. Dust fell from the ceiling with each pulse of the drone's scanner. Is it going to come in? She whispered. The voice answered softly, not yet, but it knows something is alive here. She looked down at her wrist, heat signature high. Her body was running hot. Too hot. I can't cool down, she said. My body. It's changing again. Yes, that's why you've lived this long. That's why they fear you. Her breathing slowed. She closed her eyes, focused. Focus. Survive. The drone eventually drifted away, its hum fading into the night. But she knew it would return. Next time, it might not leave. She stood up and turned deeper into the mine. Past rusted tunnels and broken drills, she found it. A scout drone, just like the voice had said. It lay on its side, covered in dust. This metal shell was cracked, sparking. One red lens blinked faintly. One of its wings was missing, but its data port was intact. This is it. Yes, plug in. But be careful. If it resists, it could burn out your brain. She knelt beside the drone, pulled out a wire from her wristband, and connected it. Instantly, pain. A shock went through her arm and into her skull. Her eyes rolled back as her mind was pulled into something vast and cold. Suddenly, she wasn't in the mine anymore. She was floating. In data. Streams of numbers. Maps. Images. Memories. She was inside the drone's memory. And the drone was trying to fight her. But something inside her pushed back. Her body, whatever it was now, could bend systems, twist code, force open locks. She found a file labeled Priority. Subject 9. Termination Protocol. She opened it. Her hands shook. Human Federation Directive Number 672. Subject 9 is a threat to planetary control systems. Adaptive genome shows cross-species resilience. If exposed to colony populations, rebellion likely. Terminate. No recovery. No comm logs. Full erasure protocol. She stared at the words. Rebellion? Control systems? She kept digging. Then a hidden file appeared. No title. No date. Just a voice. Her own voice. Recording begins. They don't want peace. They want ownership. Control. They lied about colonization. They plant diseases in weak planets, offer cures in exchange for obedience. I saw it. I tried to stop it. They turned me into a weapon, but I kept my soul. If you find this, run. Or fight. But don't ever believe you were just an experiment. Recording ends. She ripped the wire out. She was back in the mine, gasping, sweating. She remembered now. She had volunteered. She wanted to help stop wars. She trusted them. But when she discovered the truth, they wiped her mind, buried her, and left her to die. The Project Harvest tag was just a label, a cage. She had once been a human rights officer, sent to protect colonies, not destroy them. And now, she was proof that the Federation had gone too far. Her heart pounded. Her fingers shook with rage. They used me. They lied to everyone. Yes, the voice said quietly. Now you understand why you were meant to stay buried. She looked at the broken drone. This lens blinked once more, then died. She picked up a part of it, a data chip still warm, and slid it into her wrist. It might help her expose them. She stood. I'm not running anymore. Then be ready. You just triggered a level 0 breach. She didn't know what that meant, until the mine started shaking. Boom, boom. Something was coming. Big. She ran back to the control room. The screens showed dust clouds approaching, multiple units moving fast. Not drones. Ground hunters. Machines with legs. And something bigger behind them. Something massive. A creature? A weapon? Or both? She clenched her fists. I'm done hiding. She threw off the rest of her broken armor. Beneath it, her body had changed. Her skin was marked with faint glowing lines. Her muscles were stronger now. Her eyes sharper. She wasn't just Subject 9 anymore. She was something new. And they were afraid of it. The ground didn't shake. Pounded. Every few seconds, the mine walls trembled. Dust fell like rain from the ceiling. Screens on the control panel flickered with static. Something massive was coming. She stood in silence, watching the seismic readings spike on the display. Footsteps. Not just one. A formation. Behind the smaller hunter machines, a larger signal approached. The screen labeled it, Class 0 Asset. Protocol Titan engaged. She stared at those words. Her jaw tightened. That's what they send, she whispered. When they can't control something. Yes, the voice replied. Final protocol. They only deployed it once before, to destroy a city that refused to surrender. Did it work? Nothing was left. She turned away from the screen and grabbed the metal spike she had crafted from drone parts. Primitive but sharp. She had no plasma rifle. No suit. Just her altered body. And her rage. Her memories were back now. Not all, but enough. She remembered the briefing room. She remembered the officers in white coats. She remembered the contract she signed. She remembered her words. If I lose myself, bring me back. Don't bury me. But they didn't bring her back. They buried her alive. Outside the mine, the desert trembled as the hunters arrived. 6 of them. Long-legged, insect-like machines, scanning for heat, sound, movement. Behind them it came. Titan. A thing not born but built. His body was half machine, half flesh. 20 feet tall. A glowing core in its chest. Human face stretched over a mechanical skull. Eyes that didn't blink. Hands large enough to crush steel. And around its head, a crown of wires. Inside it, something once human still lived. Once. Now, it served only one purpose. Eradication. Inside the mine, she breathed deeply. This is it? She asked. Yes, the voice said. If it reaches you, nothing can stop it. Unless. She turned. Unless what? Silence. Then. Unless you activate the gene lock inside your chest. She blinked. I have a gene lock? They placed it there when you were unconscious. They feared you might resist. It's a self-destruct for your powers. But you can reverse it. Turn it into a weapon. She looked down at her chest. The faint glowing lines under her skin. They were connected to something deeper. What happens if I use it? You burn out. All of you. But it might be enough to stop the Titan. A long pause. She thought of the desert. The other test subjects. The voice of Subject 8. The lies. The fear. And the truth. They didn't fear her because she was dangerous. They feared her because she was free. I won't die in silence, she said. She stepped outside the mine. The cold air hit her face. Sand blew around her feet. And across the dune, the hunters saw her. They shrieked. A horrible, clicking alarm. They charged. She didn't wait. She ran toward them. One leaped. She rolled under it and jammed the metal spike into its eye. Sparks exploded. It fell. The second fired. She dodged, fast as light, and kicked its leg out. She moved like something more than human now. Faster. Smarter. She didn't just react. She anticipated. The third tackled her. She let it. She twisted its head clean off. The others hesitated. And then, Titan stepped over the ridge. It saw her. And it spoke. But not in a voice. In her mind. Return to sleep. She screamed in defiance. I woke up. Titan raised its hand. A cannon unfolded from its arm. She had seconds. She reached into herself, literally. Her fingers dug into the skin over her heart. found the bone slot under the ribs, and twisted. The gene lock unclipped. Her whole body lit up from inside. Titan fired. The beam hit her, but she didn't fall. She absorbed it. Eyes glowing white, she took a step forward, then another. Her voice echoed like thunder. You turned me into a weapon. Another step. But you forgot. She leapt. I was human first. Light exploded across the desert. Not fire, not plasma, but something pure. The hunters dropped instantly. Titan roared, metal and flesh twisting. The beam from her chest struck its core. Circuits fried. Memory erased. Titan collapsed, its crown of wires melting into the sand. Silence. She dropped to her knees, smoking. Her body was failing. Her breath shallow. But she was alive. And they knew now. Project Harvest had failed. She was no one's asset. She was human. And they would never control her again. Smoke rose into the morning sky. The Titan was gone. This broken metal body lay in pieces across the sand. Wires twitched. Oil leaked like black blood. Its red eyes, once glowing, were now dark. She stood at the edge of the mine, body shaking. Her clothes were torn. Her skin cracked with glowing lines. Her heartbeat was strange. Too strong. Too loud in her ears. But she was still breathing. And she was still herself. The voice in her ear came back. Quieter now. You did it. It's over. She didn't speak. She looked out across the endless dunes. She felt the wind again. Not a storm, not burning, but real wind. Fresh. Alive. What now? She asked. Now you decide. She turned and walked back into the mine, past the dead hunters, past the crushed door. At the end of the tunnel, near the control room, was a forgotten terminal. Flickering. Old. But still connected. Somehow. She sat in front of it. Her fingers hovered over the keys. This mine once had a satellite link, the voice said. A relay system, used for supply logs and distress signals. Can it still reach Earth? A pause. Yes, but if you use it, the Federation will hear you too. She knew what that meant. The moment she spoke, she would no longer be a ghost. She would be a symbol, the girl they buried alive. And that truth was louder than war. She began typing. Her name, not Subject 9, not Asset, not Experiment, but the name she remembered now, hidden deep until today. Commander Elira Voss. She paused, then recorded a message. Her face appeared on the old monitor. Dusty screen, glowing eyes, cracked lips, a voice that trembled but did not break. If you're hearing this, I am Elira Voss. I was buried on this planet. I was erased by the Federation. They told me I failed. They told the world I died. But I'm still here. I was part of something called Project Harvest. We were not soldiers. We were experiments. They used us, broke us, and when we remembered too much, they threw us away. I remember now, and I want you to remember too. She lifted the drone chip and slotted it into the terminal. Files, proof, names, images, maps, everything they tried to hide. All uploaded. If you are a colonist, you deserve the truth. If you are human, you deserve freedom. She leaned forward. The Federation is afraid. Not of war, not of aliens, but of humans who ask questions. She ended the recording. Her hands fell into her lap. She sat in silence for a long time. Then she looked at the sky again. They'll come now, the voice said. I know. And what will you do? She smiled, just a little. I'll be waiting. In orbit, alarms were already going off on Federation ships. Unauthorized broadcast detected. Command encryption matched. Voss, Elira. Status. Terminated correction. Alive. Public networks compromised. Panic spread through polished metal hallways. Officers shouted. Data was wiped. Orders changed. But it was too late. The truth had already spread. Down below, she stood at the mine entrance again. This time, not hiding. She raised a broken antenna high above the rocks, planted it, and powered it with the last cell from her suit. A weak signal buzzed in her ear. Then a voice. Not the same voice as before. Unknown source. Identify. She pressed the button. Spoke clearly. Human. Alive. Not alone. Somewhere out there, someone would hear her. A survivor. A rebel. A colony worker. Another subject like her. And maybe they would come. Not to save her, but to stand with her. Because in the end, she wasn't just built to survive alien worlds. She was made to wake up. To fight. To remind them all. She was never a machine. She was never property. She was and always would be human.